Hello everybody and welcome to GoT Superfight. I am your host, Alexandra August.
I'm Johnny Kolosinski.
And this is our very first episode of our new off-season content. If you missed our announcement, basically what we're going to be doing for the rest of the season is playing Superfight, but instead of using the characters provided by the game, we're going to be using Game of Thrones characters.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Superfight, if you're not familiar with it, is a game where you take characters from pop culture or characters from your life like a babysitter and give them superpowers and see who would win in a death match.
Pretty much. So, this week we're going to start with, actually we have a couple of news bits first before we get into our actual gameplay.
Yep. So the teaser trailer rolled out last week.
Along with our new viewing, not along with our new viewing day or new premiere
which
day.
is July
16th.
July 16th, thank you. Right before Comic-Con, which is going to be fun.
I know, so manipulative and genius.
Yup.
There are going to be some lit viewing parties at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to go to one.
Maybe we should host one.
Oh, like even scarier. I can't watch this. I can't watch this show with other people anymore. It's too embarrassing.
My dog sometimes protects me from the scary parts. It's cute.
What do you think of the teaser?
It was a teaser. I've been pretty good at avoiding spoilery bits, and so I was actually messaging Alex the day of in a flurry of, oh my god, why is there a stag? Why is there a stag? Why is there a stag? Which, if you've been following spoilery bits, you know it's because Robert is going to come back in a giant robotic suit.
Mm-hmm. As predicted by Game of Thrones Superfight about 2 weeks ago when we were rehearsing. It's quite the coincidence.
We sent it to D&D and said, hey, have you thought about this?
They made some last-minute changes.
Yeah. Speaking of last-minute changes / notifications. You got more?
Oh, no, just on the teaser. Yeah. I thought it was pretty standard as well. But Winter is Coming noticed something that I thought wasn't going to be obvious. And then when I watched the teaser, I was like, oh, yeah. The way the ashes fall from all the house sigil heads, which they finally included
Tully.
Not
Tully,
the Tyrells.
Tyrells.
I was like,
yeah.
oh, you guys are legit now. We're so scared of your Thor. Like, after the animals, it's a rose. I thought that was kind of funny. But,
yeah, and then the rose catches fire.
Yeah,
or boosts it, burn. That was awesome. I love that.
It's the only one that does that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, guys, that was so mean. But no, they all fall into ash in the pattern of one of the dead people mandalas that the White Walkers made in season 1 and season 2 that we saw a lot more of in the earlier seasons and have it now. Mm-hmm. So it seems a pretty obvious signal we're going to see the 5 or however many houses there are that are going to do battle intensely this season. We're going to see that, and then they're going to waste a lot of time until the White Walkers show up.
Yeah. It's kind of reading too much into it. It further implies that the White Walkers are people, in that they, they have an intent because they've got a sigil.
Oh, that's a good point. Looking at that as one of their sigils, that's neat. Mm-hmm. Oh, I really like that interpretation. Ooh,
thanks.
Spread the word, audience.
I will. I'll be getting the tattoo on Thursday.
Yeah, and then you just told me one bit of news that as a Game of Thrones podcaster and writer, I'm kind of ashamed I didn't already know.
It just came out last night, Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Which is that, so there's been a history of musicians doing cameos on Game of Thrones. Coldplay did, the metal band Mastodon were White Walkers.
That's right, that was so cool. I remember.
Who was it? Coldplay that was at the Red Wedding?
Mate, that sounds right.
Yeah, I know they were there, but Sigur Rós has done it, and continuing that tradition, Ed Sheeran is going to be in season 7 somewhere.
I'm really scared for him.
I
He's cherubic as fuck. And he looks very benign and unassuming, and I just feel like he's like ripe to be a small folk that gets their head caved in by the mountain.
I'm seeing it as he's going to be hanging out at the Citadel because they need someone who looks nerdier than Sam.
Oh, that makes sense. And I feel like, he could have a lute or something.
Yep. So that's where I'm calling it.
Or we're completely off base and he's going to be the Night King.
Yeah.
The guy they had before couldn't do it. We should get started then. I think it's time for our first Superfight battle.
One more quick sadder news. They also confirmed in the same interview, and I'm sorry, it was the South by Southwest panel, that season 8, 6 episodes.
Yes, this has been in debate. They've been talking about possibly doing 7.
Yep, 6 episodes, probably 4.5 hours long.
I did read an interview with Kit Harington on Huffington Post where he talked a lot about how because there are only 7 episodes, they've spent a ton more money on each one because it freed up budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so they look a lot more sophisticated. And they apparently look a lot more cinematic. So if you think about it, having 6 episodes instead of 7 is really only a good thing.
Yeah, they want to be able to have every episode match the scale of Battle of the Bastards, which Alex has watched 1,402 times.
No, I'm only around like 37. Don't exaggerate. All right, let's get to our gameplay.
Yeah,
I'm staring at my character, and I'm really excited about it. So I am Sansa. 10 stories tall, summons cats to do bidding.
And I am Tommen. Only 3 stories tall, and I can only move by backflipping, which would have made his final scene so much cooler.
The fact that we're talking about Tommen and like people being different amounts of stories tall, it's just that gif of him falling out the window is just playing in my head over and over again.
Do a flip.
I really like this pairing because I feel like Sansa and Tommen under different circumstances would have been really good friends.
They would have been besties.
Like, I'm kind of shipping first season Sansa and 6th season Tommen.
Yeah, the age almost works.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't be, not that Marjorie had bad intent, but she was manipulative of the fact that this is a child who just hit puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they would have been super cute together.
Mm-hmm.
Not as cute as Sansa and Loras being like in their like, beard of a marriage, but pretty cute. So where do you think where should they be doing this?
Because
I think the environment is going to be crucial to the outcome of this particular battle.
I want to say King's Landing solely because I want to see a 10 stories tall Sansa smashing up King's Landing.
I am with you on that. I was going to go with King's Landing as well, if only because if they're in like a field or something, because she's so big, I think this is a contest. But if she's got obstructions in her way, then I think her size is going to work against her a little bit. So now we have a bit of a fight.
And I'm pumping up Tommen a little bit here, and his backflips are, I'm kind of considering them super backflips.
That's what I was considering.
Like he can backflip from building to building.
Yeah, I like that.
Like Spider-Man style or Nightcrawler.
I'm feeling like Tommen is an acrobat. He looked like he'd be an acrobat. He had that build for it. So, and that's really adorable.
With his baby fat face.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
All right, so I think we can get ready to battle.
Dun dun dun.
So I think they see each other, and this is a lot of like Sansa's still not trained to be a fighter at all, so she's like smashing and trying to grab him, I think is her primary strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And then perhaps trying to call cats to just bug Tommen, because a 3 stories tall Tommen is not going to be too affected by cats unless we're going for like an iZombie type cat army.
I've not seen iZombie, but Katie loves it.
Well, think about like thousands of people crawling all over each other to like climb over walls and things like that. That's what the zombies are like in iZombie. Oh, I'm sorry, not iZombie. World War Z.
Okay, yeah.
I misspoke. So that, but with cats.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Tommen, like I said, super backflips, and fighting like he's been trained by a water dancer.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he's gonna be bouncing around and, only backflipping because that's all he can do. But doing his backflips with his, little needle-type blade. Well, little...
So do we think he's armed?
I think so.
I think so, too, just because by virtue of who he is.
Yeah. I think he's got the what would that be, like 9-foot-long equivalent of needle?
Yeah. Or, I mean, would he not have, like... Would Widow's Wail have been buried with Joffrey?
No, because it's Valyrian steel.
Oh, yeah. I love that they're like, we can't wait, it's Valyrian steel. We don't stand on ceremony here. Sorry, son. They, like, shove a wooden fake one into his hands. Recycle. Okay, so he's got...
Yeah.
I like the idea of him having, like, Widow's Wail just because I feel like Tommen wouldn't know how to use it very well, which would also be funny.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm picturing him starting at the window that he makes his final leap out of.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, but in a triumph as opposed to a tragedy.
Exactly, but in a triumph as opposed to the tragedy, he bounces to the walls of the Red Keep and then into why am I forgetting the name of the ghetto?
Oh, Flea Bottom?
Flea Bottom, thank you. Where he can bounce from building to building even easier because they're tightly packed.
Yes. And he's bouncing around and all of a sudden he hears something in the distance that sounds a lot like stomping feet, and the buildings of Flea Bottom tremble and one of them collapses because that's how bad Flea Bottom is, and there's bowls of brown everywhere. And a herd of cats starts swimming through every single alleyway, and all of a sudden Tommen looks up really scared and he sees Sansa.
Well, at first he's excited because herd of cats.
This is true. Or he's holding Sir Pounce like above his head like Simba and like, just don't touch my cat! He's an inside cat!
Yeah. Ooh, Sir Pounce is going to be a point of contention here.
Oh, yeah. Is Sir Pounce proportionate?
Ooh.
Are we talking about... Okay, so it's a character everything that would come with, like, their doll if you got it in a store.
I think it is now.
I know. I like that, too. New rule.
So, yeah, accessory Sir Pounce is, like, quarter story tall, size of a large ottoman.
Okay, but we have to disable him, though, because that's not...
Yeah.
I would say that he's a coward.
Because but he's a knight.
He's a knight in name only.
Okay, that's a point of contention. That's going to be an entire different episode, but I'll give it to you today.
Right, so Sir Pounce is kind of useless, but a very large cat.
Okay. I think I had Sir Pounce as a child.
Oh.
Kind of useless, but very large.
Oh.
I had a fat Siamese.
Gotcha. Okay, so they're in Flea Bottom. He sees Sansa, and like I said, I think she just swipes at him. It's like one of the best. She just tries to grab him. Her primary strategy is going to be like maybe use the cats to restrict his movement and then swipe him.
Mm-hmm. I think that the cats are going to be effective at restricting his movement, but not effective at keeping him on the defensive rather than going on the offensive. Yeah,
because I think that he would try to not hurt the cats as he swatted them away.
Mm-hmm.
As I would for a minute.
Yeah.
And then he's also, I feel like, trying to evade her.
Yeah.
He's gonna backflip like onto a roof to escape the cats, and maybe that'll put him closer to her or something.
Yeah, Tommen's gonna be going for the high ground, both to escape the cats and to be able to get at the eyes.
I really think in this case Tommen would probably try to reason with her.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Like, I think he would really try and talk to her and be like, Sansa, like, there's no reason we cannot be friends. I'm like really, really moving away from my mom's influence.
I think Sansa, especially end of season 6 Sansa, would listen.
Really? I was going to say the opposite.
Oh no, this is the Sansa that's learned to be pragmatic to a point.
Yeah, I was thinking more bloodthirsty, but you're right. I think that she would be like, I will 100% take the friendship.
This is Sansa that called Littlefinger.
Yeah, exactly.
That faxed him a message for help.
Yes, very quickly. So...
Oh my goodness, are we ending our first episode in a we're gonna go get tea?
I think we gotta do one more attribute. I think this is still a draw.
See if they cancel each other out?
Yeah.
Or cancel out Alright.
Because I think Sansa does have the upper hand here, but I honestly don't see why Tommen couldn't just run away. And I feel like he would do that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Tommen is really, really stupid.
And unfortunately for Tommen... This is
not a character note. This is the card I just drew.
Alright, well, scrap all that peace talk.
Yep.
And Sansa is figuratively on fire, so that means everything she's doing at 110% minimum.
Yep. Yeah.
She's here to win.
Which Tommen's negotiation tactics sputter and fail because Tommen can't say any word larger than soup. And we've got the roid rage Sansa.
Roid rage Sansa, who really... So he's back... I think his primary defense here is just evasion.
Yep.
And I feel like quickly she learns his movement. She learns to be a little bit predictive. And at some point he's going to bounce up within her range, and she's going to bat at him like the cats she controls and, smash him into a wall like the Mountain did with that comedian guy.
Yeah. I think poor King Tommen, first of his name, is out of luck.
Yeah, I think he smashed so many insects. It's not pretty. He looks ironically, it's basically the horizontal version of how he died in the show.
Yeah.
Poor kid. Really out of luck.
Yep.
Oh, I'm actually kind of sad about this one.
Me too.
I know.
Why did we pick the likable ones first week?
I don't know. But I feel like George would really, really like this one. He's like, you wanted them to be friends? No.
Nope.
This makes far more sense. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning into our inaugural Superfight episode. We're still playing around with the format a little bit, so these episodes might get longer, they might get a little shorter, depending on your response. So please go ahead and leave us a comment on any one of our platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Yep, those are the other ones that we're on. And you can check us out online at facebook.com/GotThrones and on Twitter at GotThronesPcast.
And, of course, you can find the episode and all of our back episodes at GotThrones.com.
You sure can. You can find me on Twitter at ALXAugust.
You can find me on Twitter at Cycloptico.
And we will
links from our Twitter profile.
And for the foreseeable future, we will be doing this every single Monday. So at some point, Monday morning, early afternoon, these episodes will appear as if by magic to your inbox or to whatever it is, whatever platform you use. Because of technology. So next week on the 20th will be our next episode, and we'll also cover any newsworthy news bits that happened in the Thrones universe.
Yep. So we'll see you, talk at you again next Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.